All right. So, welcome to Talk Travel Tuesday. So, today we're going to talk about inquiries. So, first, you're going to get your leads, you're going to let people know that they can reach out to you to book travel. And then what you're going to get is those inquiries. You're going to get people reaching out to you every different way, right? So, some are going to, text you, they might send you a message, they might just be like, I have a trip coming up. Can you help me? And sometimes they're just that simple. So, you really want to find a way to respond to them. You can use ChatGPT, you can come up with a response that you love, you can Google it, but basically you want to say, like, I'm so excited about your trip, but now you need to get a little bit of information from me, right? So how do you deal with those inquiries is what we're going to talk about today. So it's in the travel industry and in any sales model, they're going to talk about how it is qualifying your client, right? So you can't just go ahead and book them travel, right? You need to have a little bit more information from them in order to create a quote that makes sense to them. So there's a couple different ways that we can kind of gather that information, right? So we can do it via text, via email, but the best way is going to be on the phone. So if you can get them on the phone, you can really have that conversation of where do they want to go, when do they want to go, who is going, the who, what, where, when, and why even to get that idea of how to create a quote for them. So just looking at, I'm going to remind you tomorrow, this initially, one of the easiest ways to get that information would be to create something like a Google form or a jot form. These are free versions you can get started with. Now, when I first started, my form was, 25 questions. It was way too many questions. It was doing all the work for me. And it just, people aren't going to want to do all that homework before they even talk to you. So try and make it really simple. Just get mostly their information, get a little idea so that you can go ahead and just set up a call with them and then get the rest of the information on the phone call and provide them with some value. So in the beginning, I just had, setting up email, their name, phone number. What would you like us to quote? So just an idea of the trip. Are we talking about a full trip or just a hotel flight? How many people? Actually, I think I haven't even updated this, but the adults versus children, birth dates, number of hotel rooms. So I think actually this was my original quote. It's just a lot of questions, right? So what type of room? They might not even know if they want to go to the Caribbean or to Europe. I've had some of those quotes where people just really, they're like, just tell me where to go. Tell me where the deals are, right? So reason for the trip, maybe the destination. So these are some of the things you can put in there. Their departure date, return date, flexibility, and budget. Okay, so those are some ideas. And I always like to ask if you're referred to us, who may be paying for that referral. So that's just kind of an idea of that. Now, Kim's on here too, and she's fabulous. She shared her website with us. So on Kim's website, now she did have this built out by an agency. They did a phenomenal job, and they've got the button right here. So if you want to request a quote, it opens up this window. So here is what Kim has as another example. So this is built again by an agency. So spending a little bit of money investing in your business to have a very professional looking form. So Kim, can you give a little feedback on, do you love your form? Are you able to kind of adjust it? Do you find it's giving you pretty qualified leads?
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten a few leads from it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it does give me quite a bit of information. Um, the main thing is that, how to contact your customers so you can give feedback
Right.
on, contact them and then fill in any information that's not on there.
Mm-hmm. I
Um,
love these little scripts in here. Like, please use the space to tell me about. I think that's really cool in this part of the form, giving them a little like prompt.
yeah.
Well, that's great. Do you have the flexibility to be able to adjust it if needed, or do you just reach out to the team?
I haven't really tried. I guess if I really wanted to adjust it, I can, because I do have meetings with them
Mhm.
like monthly that I could submit um, my form, and all I would have to do is send it to them and they can upload it to replace that.
That's great.
So, but right now, I do have a Google form,
Hmm.
but it's something I may look into is, you know, seeing if they could replace that to make it a little bit more not pretty, but um because that's like really bland.
Oh, but I mean,
So
it looks super professional though. I think it looks, and I
yeah,
love how it's so consolidated. Like it looks really, it's not like I have to answer 25 questions. So like you can see on my first one, I'm gonna delete it. But in the beginning of the business, I just asked way too many questions. So I think it does a great job. All right, I'm gonna close some of these windows up. So let me see. I was just thinking the way I do it these days is when I get on the phone with people, I've created this little form here. It's got very similar questions, but these are the questions that I'm going to flow through when I talk to someone. So I just created this in Google Docs. So very simple and just gave myself some space to write a lot of thoughts down here at the bottom as I go through, but asking very
oh
simple questions as to like who the guests are, their contact information, their dates, who's in the party, always focusing on, where they're going, when they're going, why they're going, and also do they have any potential discounts that might pop up or any physical accommodations needed too. That's really important for things.
yeah,
Yeah, the trip duration, what kind of vibe are they looking for, any activities, inclusion, so that we really are clear on what it is that they want. I will say, if I deviate from these things and I assume some things, I'm always wrong. I might assume it's two people, and all of a sudden, oh, we're definitely bringing our children. Like, okay, well, we didn't mention that. So this form helps me to kind of flow through in case we kind of get like in the conversation and I forget one or two things. I want to make sure I check off all my boxes. So there's that. So I use this one and I print it out and then I just have it on a clipboard that I roll through this when I get on the phone. And then I just wanted to show one more thing that I use these days is the best way to go. I'll show you my website. So I host my website through Travefy. There's Travel Joy, there's Turn, there's a couple different ones that you can sign up for. This one I do have full control over. So top right here where it says get a quote. So if I want to make adjustments, I can. It does come in a pop-up window, and I guess I'm at about probably 13 or 14 questions right now because some of them are just, like, welcome, let's talk about your trip. That's like number one. And I try to make sure it's super mobile friendly too. So short little words here, like fill in your name. How would you like us to contact you? Sometimes people are just email. Sometimes people want to only talk on a phone. So I always try and ask, what's their availability because they might be booking this while they're at work. So they might just want to be able to talk through like text or email. So this one I've got a little bit more dreamy now. Like what destination is on your bucket list that we can bring to life? Do you have dates in mind? Are they flexible? How many travelers? Right. And I try and make these like where they're short responses, they don't have to just be a number. So it makes it a little bit more flexible. Celebrating any milestones so we can get them a little bit excited about the trip. Any additional notes here. And then again, if you refer to us, who may we thank. Now this I have added, this I learned from Jody, just explaining the value of
I
what a
lost
travel
you.
advisor is. What's that? Am I gone?
No, you're good.
Okay. Oh yeah, it just popped up saying my internet connection is unstable. That's why I try and do things quick because living in the middle of nowhere, I lose connection. So this I learned
Yeah,
from
I know. And we're supposed to get more storms
yeah.
today.
Oh, exactly. I know my kids are coming in. They smell like straight ozone. I'm like, wow, it's gonna storm out there.
Yeah,
So
we got 4 inches of rain yesterday.
yeah, it's been really crazy now. Well, that's why we should go on vacation. So this little verbiage, you can always go to my website if you want to get to it, but it's bookwithberencz.com is my website. You can ask any of us in the school group what we use, but if we want to start charging fees, we just have to kind of disclose it as soon as we can so that we're not kind of hitting them with it at the phone call, or if you're comfortable with that, that's perfectly fine too. But I like to make sure I just let them know. And I'm trying to keep my prices very low. So basically, when you do cruises, US vacations, including Hawaii, Mexico, and Caribbean, I just charge about $100 because I know that there's going to be plenty of commission built in. Whereas all other destinations like Europe and things like that, there's not a lot of commission built in and it's a lot of work and they don't like to work with travel advisors as much, but we still need to do the work and we still need to get paid for it. So we can't do, 20, 30, 40 hours worth of work and then we only make $20 on the back end. So that's why I do make Europe a little bit more expensive. I also do charge that if it's a domestic trip. I kind of try and deter domestic trips just because they're so little commission built into it. I try and just advise and then say next time you're leaving the country, let me know. That's my specialty. So just talking about the value of Travel Advisor and having them sign off on that. And then mine connects to Calendly here, so they can go right ahead and pick a day and time that works well for them so that we can chat on the phone and have a little spinning wheel of death here. So that's how I do my inquiries this day. These days. Any other thoughts, Kim, that you might think of for inquiries?
Now I know I do have there is a link on mine that they could schedule like a 30-minute um
Like a
30 minute
consultation?
meeting with me to go
Sure.
over their um their trip or whatever.
Right.
And it was funny because actually a lady, she did it, and then I ended up calling her, and for some reason it showed up as my old address, so she went to my old address.
She
It's like,
physically went
no.
there?
So I did call her. She's like, I'm at your house. I said, there's
Oh my
nobody
gosh.
at my house. And here she went to the Southampton address. And I could have sworn I went through and fixed all those. So I'm not sure where they found it, because I even asked, you know, they went through all my, like Bing and everything, and they
Right.
said my address was right. So um,
Oh
but
wow.
yeah, and then she did, because I told her, I said, I can still help you. I said,
Right.
you can call me back this evening. I can give you the
Yeah.
information. She's like, oh, my sister has a travel advisor. And then she just I guess they used her instead of, so I lost out on that one, which
That happens,
I was a
but
little
that's a
upset
good
about.
point. Just knowing that maybe in that conversation that, in the forum, you just mentioned something like, we work remotely. I'd be happy to set up a phone call. But I have had people do the same thing. My mom wants to stop by the office. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys live in Florida. I don't think you're stopping by Pennsylvania anytime soon. But I have had that. That's the way it used to be, right? So these days
Yeah.
we all work remotely. So we work from our home, we work on the go, we work while we're on trips, but being able to get those leads in, like once you generate the leads, you let people know this is what you do. Then when the leads come in, just making sure that you keep it organized and then you have those consult calls. So just to kind of wrap up, basically, lead generation is like a totally separate topic. And if you don't follow Alex Hormozy, he is a co-founder of School. So that's a reason why it's a good reason to read his book or to listen to his podcast. He has it all in there digitally for free. You can listen to his book. But we are in the inquiry stage here. And then the next stage after that is obviously what we were talking about with qualifying, asking them the who, what, where, why, and when over the phone, via email, text. Phone is always going to be best because you can really get the idea, get the excitement going. And then the next one after that is going to be actually creating the quote, so finding the vendor that works best for them and doing that research, creating the quote, and then going in towards booking. So that's it for today. Thank you so much, Kim, for hopping on. Anytime you guys want to hop on, we're going to do the Talk Travel Tuesday every Tuesday at 2 p.m. And I'll post this to the school group and it'll also be on YouTube. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.